Daredevil has always been a well-written character who has had years of rich history by talented different writers and artists over the years. Now, whether we're talking about Miller, Bendis, or even Zdarsky, the character Matt Murdock as a Devil's Hell's Kitchen has not only been consistent storytelling, but has also had consistent character development to a point a lot of people, myself included, would consider newer stories like those written by Bendis and Zdarsky as the greatest runs in the character history. However, with all that I just explained, there is still one story that truly defined the character in such an incredible way that till this day, it has set the standard for who Daredevil actually is. And that is Frank Miller's run on Born Again. Now you may be wondering, how did Born Again change everything? Or you may even be saying, well, duh, Keith, it's an iconic story, and it's even the title for the new sequel series. Well, that's exactly why I decided to make this video, to explain why not only is that story iconic, but how I believe it will shape the story of the show and the character of Daredevil for years to come. And if you're not already familiar with the story of Daredevil Broke Again, let's start from the beginning. There revolves a conflict between Daredevil and Kingpin, but see, in this story, Kingpin actually learns the identity of Daredevil as the blind lawyer Matt Murdock, so Kingpin decides to systematically destroy Matt's life by destroying his reputation, his income, his social life, and eventually his vigilante image, the point of driving Daredevil to the lowest point a person in life can experience. However, the moral of the story is that throughout all of this, Matt still perseveres and maintains his morality. But rather than succumbing to the torture Kingpin is delivering, or even taking a dark turn like ending the life of Kingpin, he instead rises up to become an even greater hero despite the overwhelming odds. Kind of signifying the title being born again, since Daredevil and Matt Murdock are both reborn and his purpose in life is finally truly defined as a hero. Because a hero is not defined by how powerful they are, how much money they have, or even how much good they have done. In Frank Miller's run, he redefines what makes a hero as a person who, against all obstacles, never wavers in their mission to put others before themselves. Now, after all that, you're probably thinking, wait, that sounds exactly like season 3 of the Netflix series. And yeah, you're right. They already did that story. More or less, the third season of the show drew inspiration directly from Born Again by Frank Miller. To the point, the first episode literally starts out with Matt, quote unquote, falling from grace after the battle with the hand during the Defenders TV series. And the rest of the season, we kind of witness him starting from square one back to the basics to become the hero he once was, with the iconic black outfit from season one actually returning. So yes, even though this story was already told, besides the name of the show being an obvious Easter egg to a well-beloved story for Daredevil, I believe these same elements for the character will apply, just not in the ways we may expect. Now, from what we already know, the show takes place several years after the Netflix series. I mean, we also know Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, is running for mayor, or may even already be elected into the position by this point. But Matt is also still continuing to be Daredevil, with evidence being in the She-Hulk and Echo TV series that previously released. So with all that being said, what could drive Matt to an even lower point than what happened in season 3? Well, the answer to that may be the introduction of our newest villain named Muse. Now, Muse is a Daredevil established villain who actually appeared alongside Charles Soule's run of the character, not Frank Miller. But the most important thing to know about Muse is that he is essentially a serial killer who also leaves clues of his work in the art that he loves to create. Now, the problem that this has is the simple fact that even though Matt has super hearing, reflexes, and is an amazing lawyer, he is still blind and can't actually view the images or the art that are left behind as clues. So he has to rely more on other people during this story while also indirectly having them more involved in the conflict. Now, do you see where I'm going with this? I believe that by the end of this series, we will see Daredevil fail in two major ways. I believe the character of Daredevil will fall by either not being able to save the life of someone he cares for, or by indirectly being responsible for someone losing their life, whether that's Muse, Foggy, or even Karen. And as Matt continues to descend into madness, he looks up and sees that all the years he spent attacking Kingpin and the Kingpin's assets really led to nothing, since the same man who has done nothing but facilitate crime and pain in New York has now been appointed the mayor of the same city Daredevil is failing to protect. To the point the people of New York may be even cursing the name Daredevil, while at the same time praising the name of Wilson Fisk. Now imagine that. You sacrifice your safety and the safety of those you love only for the city you fight for to turn against you. And just when Daredevil feels like he's at his lowest, things will take a dramatic turn for the worse. Because even after everything Matt went through in season 3, At the end of the day, his friends and family all lived. No one actually died or was injured or even incapacitated due to the events of him being Daredevil. But in this season, what they could do is have him being Daredevil being directly responsible for someone he cares for dying. Now, just imagine how that would affect Matt as not only as a devout Catholic, but as a hero who has gone day in and day out fighting for the city he loves, only for him to let people that he loved closer into his social life. And as soon as that happens, someone he cares for dies, creating a big shift or dynamic in Matt Murdock as a hero and as a person. Just when Daredevil feels like he's at his lowest, and the season ends with the identity of the blind lawyer Matt Murdock, the attorney, as also being the devil of Hell's Kitchen becomes public knowledge. Because in another thing that's run by Bendis, the identity of Daredevil becomes public knowledge, and even though it isn't proven by the court of law, public perception already knows the truth. And at that point, every criminal Daredevil put away by now knows the man behind the mask. And that layer of fear that they had previously is now gone and they realize the devil is just a man. Now, the reason I bring this up because hints of that story have already been revealed in the trailer. Because in that same story, Daredevil, who is now known as Matt Murdock, also has to defend another hero in court named the White Tiger. And in the trailer, we do see that White Tiger will appear in this new season, giving me insight or belief that maybe they're going to kind of shift towards this storyline in the later half of the series. But Daredevil Born Again is a series that has a lot of potential, but also carries a major burden since it's expected to live up to what came previously. But I do have a lot of faith in Marvel that whatever we get has been handled with great care. And when those first two episodes were leaked on March 4th, fans can finally be at ease knowing the man without fear has returned and is better than ever. So, my final question for you all is this: can a man truly be born again? If so, what are some examples in comics or even in films where a hero you know of has shown unwavering resilience against impossible odds? Because the one thing about Murdochs, they know how to take a punch, but they also know how to always get back up.